So, my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin is currently at 105,000 US dollars. We've just had a very quiet weekend. If we take a look at the price action, we can see that there's now massive resistance at around 105,800 US dollars. But honestly, that's also the key resistance for us to remain bullish here. There are still rumors going around that Powell is supposedly going to step down today, but those are really just tiny rumors. So you see a few people on Twitter posting about it from time to time. Let's see if it actually happens. Of course, it would be extremely bullish if someone appointed by Trump could lower interest rates, but for now, that's all just hopium. But before we get started, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, feel free to check out the free Telegram Talk and Signal group. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, feel free to join the free Telegram Talk and Signal group. You can find the link for that for free down in the video description. And otherwise, if you're still looking for an exchange where you can trade everything we discuss here, feel free to sign up with my partner exchange, BingX. The link for that is also down in the video description. By doing so, you support the channel, or rather, you support me. Alright. Bitcoin is currently at 104,900 US dollars. As you can see for yourself, over the weekend there really wasn't much price action here. Yeah, possible. Once again, we've formed a small range, and our support is still around 102,000 US dollars. But it's worth mentioning that we have a new month, which also means new pivot points. Our current pivot point is at 103,000 US dollars, and just for the sake of completeness, if we look upwards, we see the monthly pivot are one at 113,000 US dollars. Interestingly, on the downside, the S1 support is at 94,000 US dollars. These are all the support levels that I can really see coming into play this month, with a more positive outcome to the upside. If we take a really close look at the weekly close here, we can see that, okay, at least we closed above this candle here at around 105,500 US dollars. So a somewhat positive weekly close, and for the sake of completeness, also the monthly close. That actually wasn't too bad either. So what was important was to close above 102,400 US dollars. We managed to do that. Of course, we now have this massive wick to the upside, but for now, we can just ignore that. For me, that's still a positive sign. Okay, we could see a new all-time high again this month. After that, though, it might get difficult. For today, as I said, as long as the trend continues here, it's okay, as long as we keep forming this range. For bullish price action, we definitely need to get back up here into our former triangle, or descending triangle, depending on how we had drawn it. We already talked about this on Friday in more detail, that this could also have been a descending triangle here. Resistance to the upside is at around, well, just under 108,000 to about 108,800 US dollars, and to the downside, the support zone is around 102,000. And honestly, I'd actually prefer that for today, Monday, because we still have a few wicks here that are pretty much unfilled, at least on the 4-hour time frame. The former monthly pivot, meaning this box down here, is at 101,108 or 102,200. Those are the zones I could really see coming into play today. The second support zone is at 103,300 US dollars, and the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart is also currently located here. That means, since I'm not super bullish yet, there's a good chance we'll come back down into this area again and then make another attempt to move up from here. Of course, if Paul resigns, the whole thing will look completely different, but I don't really trust these rumors yet. In my opinion, there just isn't enough information out there for that, just because 1 or 2 people posted about it on X yesterday. Other than that, there's really not much to talk about. I'm still convinced that, in the medium term, we could definitely move up to the top here again. Like I said, 113 to 116,000 US dollars is definitely still a target, especially because, and I mentioned this last week, I'm not yet convinced that we're heading for a huge crash here, because this movement is way too slow. Let's take a look at the funding rates. Some long positions have been liquidated again in the last few hours, but the funding rates went up again over the weekend, which could be another sign that we might first see another move downward for everyone who went long over the weekend, and then, let's say, shoot upward afterwards. And, yeah, if Quenic would load, I'd show you the heat map as well. I took a quick look earlier. So it still looks the same as last week, with most of the liquidity up here from around 109,000 to about 112,000 US dollars. Let's move over to Ethereum and the altcoins. In my opinion, they're really bleeding right now. So, the altcoins, even though Bitcoin is actually holding pretty steady at 105,000 US dollars, you have to say, Ethereum has dropped off significantly if we take a look at it. Here, there's been a dump of just over 10% by now. Still, Ethereum is holding up well, even though we've just broken this upward trend for now with our possible ascending triangle here. Yeah, it's not exactly textbook, but we're still holding up reasonably well here, so at least we can still hope to see price targets of 3,000 US dollars. The price action is pretty much the same as with Bitcoin now on the 4-hour time frame, looks relatively good. Plus, we still have some support here down to about 2,461. If this zone breaks, it will probably drop down toward 2,355, but there's currently really strong confluence there with the monthly pivot plus the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So it's quite possible that if we see another small sell-off in Bitcoin during the day, this could be a little long zone you could use to possibly trade a breakout to the upside. But that little fig move on Monday, very possible. What's made me feel a bit bearish this whole time, as I've mentioned to you, is the situation where we were going up but the volume was dropping, and now we're going down and the volume is also dropping. So nothing's really happening there, which in a way is actually a positive sign. The correction was probably foreseeable, and if we start rising again and volume comes in, especially if we drop down into this box or this cluster at $2,355, it's looking pretty good. Salama, same story, my long zone finally got triggered here. So, we've been talking about this for, wow, how long has it been since we were over here? May 8th, so we've been waiting for almost a month, well, just about a month, for us to get into this zone. We tested the golden pocket, or rather the 0.786 level. A really good opportunity for anyone who's in, now it's just a matter of waiting. For me, the first target zone or first take profit would be up here at 168 US dollars, and then we'll see what happens next. But the overall target is still up here at 195 US dollars. In my opinion, this move was important. As I said, we still had an inefficiency here plus the golden pocket, so in my view, this fits really well. Now, we'll just wait and see. Let's move over to the traditional markets. How's gold looking? Gold is still within our entry cluster, or rather, our take profit cluster, so it's still running profitably here. We've already taken 2 take profits, and the third one could possibly come today at some point. Gold is performing really well, so let's see. But for me, as I said, the third take profit is up here around $3,400, somewhere in that area. I won't be doing anything else before then. We have 2 positions open, as I said, 2 take profits have already been taken, and the rest will just keep running for now. DEX, yeah, DEX is still a complete scam to me, so I'm still not touching it. There's just not enough movement for me. Right now, we have the former monthly pivot R1 here. The new ones need to be updated at 9 o'clock, so we'll have to take a look at that tomorrow. But for me, DEX is currently uninteresting. Dow Jones is still holding here at our golden pocket, or rather at the support level. It'll be interesting to see how the US markets open in the end. Nasdaq also remained relatively stable on Friday. Let's see if we're heading toward the all-time high here. It's definitely not far off anymore, so there's no need to hype it up. To be precise, it's just under 4% to the all-time high, which could easily be reached in a single day's move. That could also spark another wave of euphoria in the crypto markets. And last but not least, the S&P 500 has basically completed its correction well and could now also be aiming for the all-time high. Oh right, and now, last but not least, the euro against the US dollar. Yeah, it just barely missed it. I think we already talked about this last week, maybe on Thursday. If we manage to get another entry down here, then it's definitely still a long scenario. Otherwise, the train has probably left the station, unless we form a new range here and get rejected at the top again, then there's another chance down below. Otherwise, I think the euro will keep moving up for now. That's it from my side. Thanks for listening or watching. Maybe I'll catch you later for a quick altcoin update video. Otherwise, I'd say that's it from me. Leave a like, subscribe, join the Telegram group, and we'll catch up either later or tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye, and as always, stay crypto.